Hello, my name is Peter van Zuidam, and I'm from the Netherlands. And I'm going to tell you a bit about the developments concerning home education, and especially elective home education in the Netherlands, as it has grown in the last few years, and especially in the past years, because we are threatened with abolishment by the current government. And well, we had to do something about that, and I'm going to tell you a bit about what we did, and I also hope to show you a bit about what we did. And we is home educating parents and their children. Well, at first I would like to tell you a bit about the current legal situation, just to give you an idea. Then about the intent of abolishing the options for home education that we have. And last of all, our actions in order to get home education accepted by the broader society and by the government. That is the national government and the municipal government. Our legal means of home educations are restricted. Home education doesn't exist in Dutch law as it is. It was basically abolished in the late 1960s as an explicit option or alternative for school education. School enrollment and attendance are compulsory in the Netherlands, not unlike in Germany. But like in Germany, not all children attend schools. We have two exemption grounds that can be useful for home education and that are used most widely. One is the ground of unfitness for school, and that is used by more than 3,000 children at the moment, and the number is growing steadily, but those children have been declared unfit for school, cannot be admitted to school for the best of their own interests, judged by either a doctor or a psychologist or a psychiatrist. Many of these children are burnt out of school, and that number is rising quite steadily at the moment. And then we talk about an involuntary school non-attendance, whether these children are educated at home. It depends on the parents. I don't know that, and the contacts with many people of this population are fairly limited among home educators. The other group, which consists of a couple of hundred families, are the elective home educators, and it includes my own family, and our exemption is based on the predominant religious or philosophical objections against the orientation, that is the religious or or the philosophical orientation of all schools on a reasonable distance from our living residents. And this is what we talk about, and this provision has a number of restrictions. It is restricted to objection of a religious or life philosophical nature. Criminal judges can check that if our case is brought before a criminal court, and that happens every now and then. It still happens, although well, as a collective we by now know how to deal with this, so it happens less often than it used to on this ground only. There's no exemption possible by the letter of the law if the child was enrolled in the previous year before claiming the objection, and if objections have to be expressed against the orientation of that school involved. So you may not change your attitude. You may not exercise your change of attitude and your objections. The children are registered as exempt. So registration is default in the Netherlands, as it is with our Napoleonic civil registration at all. On the other hand, there's no legal demand to home educate. It is just assumed, and there's no inspection. We can therefore exercise a wide variety in educational approaches. Back in 2000 I was one of the happy starters, erectors, I don't know the best English word for this, of the Dutch National Home Educators Association, the NVVTO, de Nederlandse Vereniging voor Thuisonderwijs, for those who happen to understand Dutch. It has grown steadily since then. We have around 200 member families by now, about half of the electively home educating population in my estimation. It has a new board of directors since less than a month ago. So I said goodbye as a secretary of that board, and I'm happy to say that I have full confidence in the current board. That may not always have been the case, but in this case I'm quite happy to cooperate with the new board. The tasks of this association is providing reliable information about home education in general, about its varieties, how you can do it, how to deal with the law. We have a political lobby. We are not unknown in The Hague when it concerns home education. Every politician by now, well, oh yeah, there's an association involved, and if I say something about it, I can expect a telephone call. And we have press contacts, and we try to do that as professionally as we can. And that helps. Well, we are in threat of abolishment, nevertheless. And the grounds for this intent are, we are with too many, namely more than 400 children. And the presumed lack of socialization and civil integration. Well, you've heard that by now. There's one interesting thing. This intent to ban us goes against opinions of people and institutions that matter in the Netherlands. The Education Council and researchers in education and in education law. They all say, let's restore the situation as it was in the 1960s, legalize home education and impose some sort of supervision on it. Our lobby is correcting the prejudice in politics, press and media, informing the wider community about scientific research.
Can you speak in the microphone, please?
Yes, yes I will. Demonstrating, if possible, what home education is all about, and developing the best practices of ways and means of interaction between home educating families and the government. And that is really something to think about. I would like to show you how this demonstration can take place. I'll have to start this now. Right here. And I'm going to show you, well, it's a little bit far away, but I may as well do it like this.
Thank you very much for showing us a brilliant, different way of presenting home education. Very cool. Can I give you the microphone back?
Yes.
So maybe it's nice to know it was meant to be the opening act of a new website, and the website has been translated by now. This is Thuisonderwijs, and there's some general information which would be useful for any country about socialization, how people learn, and lots of things.
Okay, maybe Peter should repeat that because it's probably not recorded because the sound is over here.
This whole flashmob was held by the opportunity of the opening of our new Dutch website. It is thuisonderwijs.nl, and that is translated, this is home education. It contains all kinds of information in order to make home education and the choice to home educate comprehensible for the outside world.